SKOL Vikings, let's win this game.
Vikings fans, what a week. O'Connell shut the door on the quarterback plan heading into a short week. The controversy around Hawkinson's wiped-out touchdown sparked debate, and once again, the red zone became a nightmare. There was even a creative twist from Flores to counter the tush-push. And then Wentz's post-game comment, "Yeah, that one," set the whole fan base on fire. Hold on to that, because it changed everything. But before we dive into the full breakdown, real quick, let me say something. Hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it really helps this purple and gold community grow. Drop a like too, because it tells YouTube to push this out to more members of the Vikings Nation. And make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below. This space belongs to everyone who lives and breathes this team together. Kevin O'Connell left everyone on edge after the loss to the Eagles. He had the chance to name his starting quarterback for the short week matchup against the Chargers, but chose to keep things under wraps. That silence split the fan base. Some believe he's protecting the game plan. Others think he genuinely hasn't made up his mind. Time's running out, and with Thursday closing in, every decision carries extra weight. To be fair, O'Connell praised Wentz's effort, saying he competed and scrambled well when needed, but nobody's forgetting those two back-breaking interceptions that cost Minnesota the game. The first turned straight into an Eagles touchdown. The second, a meaningless deep throw into traffic, looked more like desperation than design. "A pick six changes the whole game," O'Connell said afterward, frustration clearly in his voice. The fans didn't forgive easily. On social media, in bars, and in post-game chatter, impatience was the word of the day. The Purple faithful are tired of seeing the same mistakes. Many are calling for O'Connell to hand the keys back to McCarthy, even if he's still rehabbing that high ankle sprain. The coaching staff has been cautious. The recovery timeline was 4 to 6 weeks, and this Thursday marks week 5, right in the middle. And here's the kicker. The game is against Jim Harbaugh's Chargers, McCarthy's old college coach. You couldn't script it better if you tried. Inside the locker room, tension's thick. Players aren't saying it outright, but the energy's split. Some trust Wentz's experience. Others feel the team's spirit comes alive with McCarthy under center. That uncertainty could weigh heavy. Outside fans are wondering if O'Connell's really going to stick with the veteran, knowing his mistakes are costing wins. The question now, a safe bet with Wentz or an emotional gamble with McCarthy? Either way, it could reshape the entire season. TJ Hawkinson walked off the field completely baffled. He was sure he'd scored the touchdown that could have swung the game, but after a few minutes of review in New York, what started as celebration turned into outrage. Officials said the ball moved when he hit the ground, and for everyone watching live, that call made zero sense. It happened late in the fourth quarter, with the Vikings still within striking distance of the Eagles. Wentz threw a tough ball. Hawkinson stretched out, came down with it, and celebrated. Touchdown, right? Wrong. The replay booth stepped in, and Bill Vinovich announced it was incomplete, claiming loss of possession upon contact with the ground. And that's when the fan base snapped. Even the on-field refs told Hawkinson they had it as a catch, but the final call came from New York. Far from the field, far from the moment, and honestly, far from logic. "My hands were under the ball, it's ridiculous," Hawkinson said after the game. Can't buy one. Hard to blame him. What made it worse is that nearly identical plays have been ruled catches before, including one by Jordan Addison last season. That inconsistency drives fans crazy. On social media, the Purple faithful made their frustration loud, demanding fairness. The replay showed the ball shifted slightly but never hit the ground, and Hawkinson's body never touched out of bounds. Normally, calls like that stand unless there's clear and obvious evidence to overturn them. There wasn't. Even O'Connell said the play looked just like a Devonta Smith catch earlier, and that one stood. The difference? That one helped Philadelphia. The Vikings ended up settling for another field goal, their 5th in 6 red zone trips. If that touchdown had stood, they'd have had over a minute to chase the win. Instead, it was another case of fine margins deciding everything. And fans are left wondering, is this about execution or interference from elsewhere? That loss to the Eagles was one of those games that leaves fans shaking their heads asking, how did we lose that? It wasn't just the 28-22 score. It was the way it happened. Red zone struggles, self-inflicted mistakes, and defensive breakdowns at the worst times. Minnesota beat itself. Early on, Wentz hit Addison deep, but the underthrow killed what could have been an easy touchdown. Then chaos took over. A bad snap, forced throws, slow reads, and a drive that could have flipped the game ended instead with a 60-yard field goal from Will Richards saving the day. To be honest, it's hard to defend Wentz after that. He had his moments, but when calm was needed most, he crumbled. That pick six, a gift-wrapped disaster. Then, trying to make up for it, he tossed another ugly interception that crushed momentum. The confidence vanished, and you could feel it in the locker room. Center Blake Brandel had a nightmare of a game, too. A high snap that sailed over Wentz, a blown block that led to the pick six, and a holding penalty that wiped out a touchdown. 3 plays, all momentum killers. Meanwhile, the defense kept failing on third downs. Jalen Hurts looked untouchable, hitting Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown with daggers every time the Vikings had a chance to get off the field. 3rd and 9, 45 yards, 3rd and 15, conversion. It was painful to watch. The Eagles didn't need brilliance, just efficiency. Minnesota, on the other hand, turned 6 red zone trips into 1 touchdown. That's a formula for heartbreak. The loss exposed every weakness the Vikings have to fix before facing the Chargers. If O'Connell doesn't tighten things up soon, Thursday night could get ugly fast. Stick around. The next part brings something wild from the defensive side. Brian Flores went bold. Against Philly's infamous tush push, the defensive coordinator tried something nobody had seen before. In a packed stadium buzzing with noise, the Vikings defense lined up in a formation that made everyone, including the broadcasters, do a double take. On a 4th and short, rookie Tyler Batty literally laid down in front of the ball, a human barricade clogging the exact space the center wanted to push through. Behind him, the rest of the line packed tight, ready to crash in. It looked like a purple wall, and honestly, it almost worked. Hurts barely converted, inches separated success from a stop. Seeing that kind of creativity was refreshing. Flores could have played it safe, accepted that the tush push can't be stopped, but he didn't. He tried something new, and even if it didn't pay off, it sent a message. This defense still believes. Sadly, the offense's early mistakes overshadowed that spark. Wentz's 2 first-half interceptions buried the effort. Still, fans of the Defend the North movement saw a glimpse of fight from that unit. The defensive front held strong, linebackers hit hard, and you could tell the Eagles' staff didn't love what they were seeing. Later, when Philly tried the same play again, they jumped early. A false start before the snap. Coincidence? Maybe not. Looks like Flores' plan actually rattled them. O'Connell praised the creativity afterward, saying he wants the team to keep thinking outside the box against unstoppable plays. For fans, it was a brief spark of pride amid chaos. Watching a coach get inventive like that reignites hope. Maybe that's the lesson. Stop playing it safe. Start surprising people. If Flores keeps dialing up fresh ideas like this, the Vikings defense could quietly become a difference maker in the weeks ahead. Stick around. The final story about Wentz blew up the entire fan base. Carson Wentz managed to infuriate the Vikings fan base like few before him. After the 28-22 loss to the Eagles, he walked up to the podium and said, "I've got to stop throwing it to the other team." He really said that. The reaction? Pure chaos. A mix of disbelief, anger, and exhaustion. Let's be honest, the game had already been tough to stomach. 2 first-half interceptions, 1 returned for a touchdown, and a bunch of missed red zone chances. 6 trips, 1 touchdown. The offense stalled, the clock ticked away, and Wentz always seemed a step slow. 300-plus passing yards mean nothing when they come with that kind of mess. And it wasn't just the play, it was the tone. He sounded detached, almost joking about it. For the Purple faithful, that hit wrong. "Oh, really? Just figured that out?" one fan replied online. Another wrote, "You can't throw it to the other team from the bench. Brutal." His comment only deepened the sense that the locker room split. Wentz was supposed to hold things together until McCarthy's ankle healed, but every week it's clearer. QB1 still belongs to the rookie. Whatever hope existed that the veteran might revive his career in Minnesota is gone. That Eagles game erased it. O'Connell tried to smooth things over, saying he'll evaluate both quarterbacks before facing the Chargers, but fans aren't buying it. After that quote, starting Wentz again feels impossible. Beneath it all, the team's crying out for leadership, not just on the field, but emotionally. When your quarterback starts getting sarcastic, the locker room loses direction. Defend the North is demanding accountability now. And if McCarthy's even 80% healthy, don't be surprised if he's back out there Thursday night, because patience has officially run out. Fans want the future, not a rerun of the past. After all that, you can feel how tense things are in Minnesota. O'Connell holding back his QB choice, Hawkinson fuming over a reverse touchdown, the red zone collapsing again, Flores pushing defensive creativity, and Wentz becoming the lightning rod for everything. It's a lot, and every piece of it's pushing the team toward a crossroads. Honestly, weeks like this remind us what it means to wear purple. The frustration, the hope, the never-ending swing between the two. That's the life of a Vikings fan. Deep down, everyone knows. One right game could flip the entire season, and at this point, any decision could change everything all over again. This team never stops stirring emotions, and the conversation's far from over. Drop your thoughts below. This space belongs to every member of the Vikings Nation. Stay tuned. SKOL Vikings, let's go.